Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to the Deceptilab. And my bad. Welcome to the Deceptilab, and welcome to my weekly live stream. And today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We got a huge individual event this week. We'll talk a little bit about that. And with those large 50K events comes new combat. So we're going to talk about Victory Leo and Tigerchest, and just want to talk about Deathsaurus and Star Saber a little bit more. I know we covered them a little bit last stream, but now that I can actually show the combat, we'll talk about that a little bit. And I was just looking at the chat, and I seen Chris Harmon ask a question um, about the G1 when it's released. So honestly, there's a schedule that they have that they keep for each one of those. So the combat should be coming out, and I forgot exactly the intervals that they use for the G1s. I don't think the G1s coming out right away, but we'll take a look at it, see if it's something that you even want. So um, yeah, we'll take a look at that, and I want to talk about a little bit about the future of wars. I can't say too much yet, just because we're in the planning phases. Some new stuff as far as war effects and everything is concerned. But I'll tell you kind of where the conversation was going, where I stand on some of the issues that we're having with wars, and yeah, I'll see what you guys think. Maybe it'll be something I can carry back to the team that'll be informative for them. So, but either way, before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's newsletter, and we'll see what's going on for this week. All right, so this week's event is called Core Deep. It is going to be, like I already mentioned, I'm moving my screens all around here. Like I mentioned, it is going to be a 50K individual totalizer, which is going to be common for week 4 of the saga. And I was actually talking to some players in one of my old alliances about that earlier because, when you see stuff like this, a lot of people were saying, hey, man, that seems like a little bit of a cash grab and everything like that. But this is one of the few times they know that some of the stuff we get is really desirable in the game. It's hard to get 5-star combat shards and stuff like that. Um, so this is one of the opportunities to do so. For me, in the United States, it's a federal holiday weekend, so I might be able to invest a little bit more time into the event. But I was like, I don't know if I want to do it all weekend. I actually got the next 4 days off. Well, I go to work tomorrow, and then I get 4 days off. So I'll spend some time grinding out. And the last time I said that for one of these 50K events, I actually wound up completing the event pretty early too. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so like I said, 50K, it's 200 prestigious, and so some of the prizes you're gonna get, you got core deep chips, and that's gonna have a chance to drop the new Victory Leo and Tigerchest, combat bots, or you can get 5-star combat shards. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not gonna. We'll talk about it later on. I'm looking more forward to the combat shards than the actual bot itself. I mean, honestly, I don't really get that excited for that many 4-star combats these days. Eventually, obviously, it's going to go into the 5-star batch later on down the road, but I'm not even looking forward to that, to be honest. And it just is what it is. But I always want to get those 5-star combat shards. So you're going to get it from the event crystals. You're going to get it through the premium combat chips, and then they got some Crimson Stash crystals, and then lots of combat spark and combiner spark. So a little bit of everything in this event. So let me know in the chat, how far are you planning to go? I said I think I already know what Chris Harmon said. Chris Harmon gonna complete it. Maybe a couple others, Lord Avix. I seen you lurking around there. I said you probably got a good shot at completing it. But let me know in the chat how far you plan to go on this event. All right, typical price charts. The one difference is each event chip. So you're going to have different percentages for drop rates. So there's a 25% chance that you get a 4-star, 3-star, or 2-star combat version of Victory Leo or Tigerchest. And then 75% that you get 5-star shards. So pretty good there. I always like getting the shards. battle zones, typical battle zones. Had some more survey winners. So, you had some survey winners from last week's survey. So, congrats to those guys. Got them a few sets of 255-star shards. All right, so this week, Ariel and Scylla are going to get their G1 core chip. And the bundle will be in the store starting Friday all the way through the 19th of June. And it just tells you a little bit about the ability. Damage is increased by 14.5% and executes enemies within a Death Kiss beacon on them at 10% or lower. Now, this is one of those things that we kind of ran out of time for to test and to really truly test during testing. And then the server reset, so I actually don't have the G1 because I actually wanted to show it as well. I would have had to requested it again, but it's all right, cool. I mean, the bot itself is good enough. It was times when I was testing the bot that I didn't even use any power cores just to see how good I could do. But yeah. All right, this week. Okay, yeah, no, that is in the newsletter about this week you can earn Victory Leo and Tigerchest in the event. And so later on down the road, they're going to do some other things with Star Saber and Depthsaurus. So they've got a screenshot there of the bot specific core, and you can kind of see, and we can take a look at it. We can take a look at it since they already put that in the newsletter. But yeah, it's gonna be a damage boost, and yeah, they're saying that you get up to 26.5, the G metal, and I'm wording it that way because all the way up until the day, we were, the apes were still working on just dealing with different numbers and stuff for the combat, and there's still some work that they might do with the G1 core, and they still got to work on the ability 11. It's been a little bit of a frustrating process because I remember at one point in time, and I think it was when Knockout and Skids first came out. One of the things that the apes were trying to do is say, hey, when we go into test, we're going to go into test with everything. So it's going to be the G1, it's going to be the ability 11 and the bot. And we haven't had that happen that many times since then. And it really helps us in playtest for balancing purposes. So I'm curious to see what comes of this ability 11 when it's ready. So for the new combat, it's going to be a health increase, and I'll talk about that when we actually show it on the stream. I'm not going to beat it to death. I'm just talking about the newsletter. Check out all of your content creators, your official ones, Engineer Hoist, myself, Soldier, and Sunstreak Awaza, all been putting out great content right now. I've seen Mercenary Terror down there in the chat, also one of the really good content creators, and a couple of others out there. My boy Just Elite making a lot of good stuff. And I ain't trying to forget anybody, but I say if I see them in the chat, I'll shout them out for the excellent content as well. All right, community corner. So you got a wanted poster for Scourge. Who actually went to go see the movie, the Rise of the Beast? I went to go see it last Thursday, and it actually kind of ticked me off because I went to go see the movie, and our movie theater was actually closed, but they were still accepting Fandango. They were still accepting money on Fandango, and the theater was closed. So I won't go up there preparing to see this movie. I sat down in the mall to eat, walked down to the movie theater, and it was closed. So I actually had to go to the next town over to go watch the movie. So, but it was really good. I think it was pretty good for an action movie. I think it was a little bit more that I wanted as a Transformer movie, but overall, I liked it. All right, nice artwork down there in the community corner, and that is it for the news. So let's go back to the lab and see what we got going on in the chat. And I see that Stay Puff, one of my playtester buddies, was first in the chat today. Thanks for joining. Followed by Chris Harmon, Lord Avix, my moderator and good friend, Mercenary Terror. Another one of my playtest buddies, Avenger Prime, Robert C4. Thank you guys for joining. Let's see who else we got. Another good buddy of mine, LJ Gav. E Rods is joining us again, so thanks for coming by. Let's see, we got L. What is that supposed to say? Is that supposed to say Prickless? PRKLS. So L, thanks for joining. Let's see, Alpha Trion 1 joining us again. Thanks for coming by. Vic Ching is joining us today. So thanks for coming by. LD NY Rican. Thanks for joining. And LD NY Rican says, horrible timing for this event. Wedding anniversary Saturday and Father's Day Sunday. And he's free to play these days. So yeah, now I get it, man. Like it's one of them things. Like for me, for Father's Day, I'm actually dropping one of my children off at college for like he's doing like a early course or whatever. So I was like, I'm actually getting rid of one of my kids on Father's Day. So I was just like, all right, man. So it's probably gonna be a real chill Father's Day for me because I gotta run him up to the university. But I do, like I said, I do got Friday off, so I was like, I'll see how it goes. I ain't got anything planned. Like last weekend was my big weekend, so. Big Ching say hitting up a music festival over the weekend. But yeah. Alpha Trion 1 says this is better than Bayverse. Yeah, no, I have to agree with that. Even though, he's still like one of the producers for the movie and stuff like that, but like I get it, like the Bayverse ones, like the original one I felt like started out good, but then it just gradually started getting worse over time. So I was like, nah, I agree with you there, the Bayverse ones. Yeah, Chris Harmon agrees with you better than any Bay film. Vic Ching ain't watched it yet, so no spoilers. Yeah, I never try to do spoilers. Like I'm one of those people that will actually have somebody tell me what happens. If I'm going to still go see the movie, but I know that's not everybody's story, so I would never do that. So, but cool, man. All right, so good stuff. So let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about this new bot, this new combat bot. So we are going to take a look at Tigerchest. So let's look at him first in the we'll look at some stats. I'm not going to equip that yet, so that's the bot specific cool. Not going to equip that yet because I want us to be able to see the difference in what each piece is causing. So I'll actually go back out and back to the combat bot piece. So this is Tigerchest. This is going to be the Decepticon version that we're going to wind up getting for Deathsaurus. The Autobot equivalent obviously be Victory Leo. They will be equipped specifically to Star Saber. And so it's going to be a 32% health increase as well as firing a grenade that deals 120% of the bot's damage. And then it's going to have, that grenade is going to add an element of ice to it. So it's going to freeze the targets and it's going to reduce their speed by 70%. So in theory, sounds like a really good thing, right? Let's take a look at his base stats. See, and here's the thing. I was really interested in this because my last 5-star pull that I had, like out of my actual earning crystals, was Deathsaurus. I know a couple of people were talking about the anniversary crystal. I actually pulled Flatline out of the anniversary crystal, so now I got the best healer in the game. So I'll probably grind him up a little bit this week. I didn't put a lot of time into leveling Flatline this past weekend, but I do plan to do so this upcoming weekend. All right. So right now we're looking at 33k of health, 33,240 to be specific. I'm gonna throw Tigerchest in there, and let's see what we get. So I'll tell you where this conversation came from. So when we were working, the entire time we've been working on Death Source, one of the things we were saying is like, hey man, they went with just a generic stat boost on Death Source when we were working on the 5-star batch and testing. And when we were just like, oh, okay, that's cool. We went to actually go play him, and he's like, man, that ain't it. Like that's not gonna make him push him back into the meta. It's just not. Like that's just God honest truth. It's just not gonna be enough health or damage to push him back into the meta. Now, when I made the announcement, and I was the first one to break the news to the community, I was excited about it. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be like old times. We're gonna be able to use them and all the way up to Prime Lake Wars, and that's just not the bot that we got. It's just not right. So now I'm looking at him and I'm saying 636.7 damage right now. Originally, when we got him, we got a bot and Tigerchest. We was gonna try to do more damage, and I was cool with that. I told the playtest that I said, hey, I'm cool with it doing more damage, but we got to do something to address his health. And pretty much every playtester agreed we need to do something with his health. And they said, so we took a survey. I'm almost certain that most of us said something about the health. They gave us the combat bot, and this is what we got. And didn't hear too much for a little bit. And today we was like, hey man, this thing comes out in 2 days. What's good? Well, now this is what we got. So let's take a look and see what he looks like with this new combat. Speaking of which, what did you guys get? For those of you who hadn't already said something, what did you get out of the anniversary crystal for your 5-star? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, it's funny because I was in a couple of group chats and everybody was just saying, yeah, I was going to get something terrible. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like, usually I get something decent out of 5-star anniversary. Like, I think the year before last, I think it was, I got like Octone, I think it was, out of there. And it wasn't that I was chasing him, I was chasing another bot in the batch. And so I actually wound up getting that bot just because they gave me Octone. So Avenger Prime got Brainstorm. That's an amazing pull. That's an amazing pull for a freebie. That's, man, I know you were ecstatic when you saw that. I know you had to be, because I said if I'd have pulled Guy Hawk out of there, that'd have been my ideal pick. If I'd have pulled Guy Hawk, I probably just been running down the street screaming, bro. Like, that's a great pull. Alpha Trion 1 got Grimlock. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Robert C4 got Blitzwing. Dude, like, I ain't seen Trap out here yet, because that's Trap's dude, and I have not figured that how to use that bot out. I mean, I just not figured it out, man. And even when you can combo him with like Terramander and all that stuff, man, I have not figured out a good use for him on my teams. I got him probably at like level 57, 58, something like that. I just don't have a desire to, man. All right, so we're talking about improved health. Now, keep in mind, this is my test base. My test base honestly pretty much sucks. And I'm pretty sure that even with this health boost, it carried him up to about 36k or so. It's doing something decent. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, this is still a really expensive bot to use. So let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I mean, once you get up there, I mean, that's just some beam lasers and a little bit of damage from the MDS. He's done. He's done. Now you can see. Now, granted, that's a tank, you can see how long in comparison it takes for bludgeon to get down. And let's go check his stats real quick, because I understand the concern. The concern is, if you make this guy do too much damage and he's stunning everything, and you give him too much health, he's gonna be overpowered. That's the concern. That's what playtesting is for. It's for us to take a look at things. And I tell the apes all the time, hey man, let's just throw the ideas out there now. And if it's simple coding, I don't want to make them work too hard. I don't want to make them work harder. But man, like, let's take a look at this and see if it's a viable option. And the amount of times we get shut down for stuff, I'm just like, just damn, dog. Like, we just gotta be able to test things. And then when we started testing on this combat like a long time ago, and it's frustrating. You know, I'm not trying to come down on the apes. There's a lot of good things that I see them doing. This just isn't one of them. If I'm gonna be honest, if I'm gonna keep it a band with you, it's not. So yeah, man. So that's where we're at, man. And it's just, I want to take a better look at that freezing ability, because I'm gonna tell you what it is. And I don't want to say that we're not listened to, because we are getting listened to on certain things. The execution is just not coming out the way that I want the execution to come out, because there's a few of us that say, hey man, why don't we change Deathsaurus to like some type of ice ability? And we've been saying that for months. So they say, hey, we can do that. We can do like a little beam here in the combat, and you can kind of see, like, most of us use Deathsaurus kind of the way that I did, and Starsaber kind of the way that I did, but it just takes some time for this ice beam to deliver. And just to be honest with you, I don't even like that. Like, it took like a second, and then so most of the stuff with ice, you got to destroy the target. So yeah, if you're using a team, you're gonna destroy the target. But I was like, now look how long it takes before I use ice again. And for a bot that you're rushing around, I mean, what was that? Like 8 seconds, 10 seconds? I can't co-sign on that, bro. I can't. So I see my good buddy Sunstreaker Waza has joined the chat. Thanks for joining. Thanks for stopping by. And I'm sure you'll have a little bit to say about these combat bots. So if you guys, most of you guys know Waza. He streams usually tomorrow. So I can't wait to see what he's got to say about it. Probably nothing he ain't already said to us in many of the several chats that we in. But I ain't gonna speak for him. I'm gonna let him speak for us. So, all right, Lord Avix, one of my alliance mates. Well, I'm not in the alliance right now. He said he got Ramjet. That's a good one. And I actually, I love Ramjet so much, man. Like, when I first started making like decent war teams, he was the centerpiece of it. I actually can still maneuver him really, really well. So if you ever need any advice on how to do that, if you're good with distances, only if you're good with distances. I'm really good with distances, so I can actually navigate those motion seeking mines really well, or delayed sack still works with them really well. So if you ever decide you want to make a move with him, let me know. All right, Vic Ching got the same pick that I did. He got Minerva, obviously flatline on the Decepticon side. So yeah, man, feels good, doesn't it? It feels good to go pull flatline Minerva. Oh, Big Ching says got a good base. So comparatively, so what I use on the live server will tear somebody completely apart. Like, this is an okay version of an old base that I had a while back ago. But yeah, I appreciate the compliment. Let's see. Vic Ching's asked me to put the power core on, so yeah, I'm gonna put the power core on, and we'll take a look at that too. But honestly, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the combat off, because I want to show everything individually, and then we can take a look at it all together. Because honestly, man, like I don't think any of it's gonna be all that impressive, man, to anyone. If I'm being honest, now if you see something that I'm not seeing, I was talking to Lord Avix earlier on my Discord server, and I was saying he's like he's looking forward to seeing about the combat, and I was like, nah, man, you ain't missing nothing. And he was just like, well, just don't talk about it on the stream then. And I was like, all right, man, well, I can't do that. but I learn from you guys all the time too. So I said maybe you see a use for it that I'm not seeing, which is why I talk about this stuff on stream, man. And so like we said on the newsletter, the stat value is supposed to be 26.5. We can't see that on the server. They still got to insert the values there. Supposed to fire a ricochet shot every 8 seconds and deal damage. So 20% extras of frozen and electrified targets. Now that's the part I actually like, because the push that I'm making to Space Ape is this, and I just keep trying to wrestle it into every little conversation. And I think I talked about it last week a little bit, but just to be clear, fire and acid, when they made that into the meta, when they separated them, because originally fire and acid was supposed to be the same thing, or they were the same thing, and they made it so that you get that 20% boost off of when you use acid and fire together, right? We first saw that when they brought out acid storm and slingshot. That was the first time that we had seen anything like that, and it was like, you know what? This is pretty good. And so there were things that took place so that we can make that possible for all fire and all acid. And so a couple of things happened. We wound up having a nerf to acid storm. You had to actually split acid and fire. They had to nerf fire line and top shot just for any of that to work and still be balanced. So we didn't like that at the time, but when that all was said and done, we understood. And that's where I thought we were going with these power cores, with this combat bot. I thought we were going in a direction like that, and we still might, but I'm just not as hopeful as I was at one point. So my push has been to make a similar. It doesn't even have to necessarily be the meta. It'll just give you some options. My goal would be to have ice and electric have some kind of damage multiplier, and then maybe people could choose. Like maybe you don't have acid bots. We were talking about that in playtest the other day. Some people don't have an acid bot or a viable acid bot for higher level wars. Cool, man. Well, maybe I can go do a combo with an ice and an electric bot, and I'm good to go. That could be a viable option. And I will say this: one of the things, and we'll talk about that a little bit separately in a moment, but one of the things that Dale seems to be pushing a little bit, and I don't want to speak for him, but one of the things that I've noticed in playtest is we're trying to get a little bit more variety in the types of bots you use, so you're not just completely just leaning solely on acid time after time after time. So I would like to see there be a damage multiplier for those two elements, for the ice and for the electric, and hopefully it'll be a good balancing point for bots as they start to come along, especially with the ice, because we don't have as many ice bots. Big Blade says, yeah, we need to do that. Yeah, we do. And I think this is kind of like a gateway into that. Obviously the apes aren't going to share everything with us yet, but if history is a dictator of those things, history suggests that might be a thing. Now, I'm just guessing. The apes haven't told me anything, but I think that's something that could happen, and it's something I've been pushing for. What Dale did tell me, though, is he said they need to do a little bit of work with ice first. All right, so let's take a look at this combat. Now, I know a lot of times this is how this came to be, is that for the longest, folks are saying maybe Death Source and Star Saber should be able to do some kind of ranged attack. But let's be honest, like who actually uses him that way? You usually use him for his ability. And be honest, I don't even think this one's even. I thought they fixed this. I don't even think it's working right now. I want to take a look at it again to see if it's working. I thought this was fixed. But what I picture in my head is something sort of like the combat bot aimless or whatever, which already I think it's kind of cheesy to kind of just you rework parts of pre-existing combat bots, but whatever. If it worked well, then cool. But the thing is, and I never thought about it like this, using a ranged attacker on essentially what's a melee bot just doesn't really it doesn't work. You know, you're gonna be using the ability, you're not gonna be using that. Yeah, it's still just doing melee. I don't think they figured that out yet. But they got time to work on it. We don't. The combat bot is pretty much exactly what we get. So unfortunately, that's about as much as I can show about it. Even if we put the bot back up there, we still got to get the core to work. Joker has joined the chat and he says, "I'm with you, Freeze. Guy Hawk over Death Source. Yeah, I mean Guy Hawk is awesome." Sunstreaker Waza called me out. He said, "What's the last thing they listened to us on?" So I think that. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that they listen to us in bits and pieces. So a lot of times we'll want certain things, and they'll give us like a bit and a piece. Like for example, what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Deathsaurus getting some kind of ice ability. Um, well, they didn't change the ability itself. They gave us a combat that had some element of ice in it, and it was like, "Hey, we can't do this, but we'll give you that." It just so happens that the combat bot sucks. You know what I mean? But so they were listening. We just didn't get exactly what we wanted, and I've noticed that happening a lot. And and kind of like we were talking about in the playtest line that chat earlier. I usually feel like okay, there's something coming that they can't tell us about yet. That's gonna make this whole thing better. I just don't see it this time. Like I honestly, I genuinely don't see. Like, what are they gonna put in the ability 11 that's gonna make what I just showed you guys any better? And I'll be honest with you, it's not. It's not gonna make it better, and it sucks because that's the first one I pulled out of that batch. It's the first I saw a lot of people pull out of that batch, and I hate it that it's because it's you get excited about these things. I look forward to every 2 months to seeing what the new combat's going to do and going to the combat event. It's one of the few events that I actually typically get motivated for. And it's like, dude, I don't want to deal with this at all. I mean, like, man, just can I trade in my combat and just go get the 5 shards, please? You know. uh, but all right, man. So I want to take a look. I got a request to look at a bot, and let's see. All right, Guy Hawk, Micronus, and Crater Maker. So that was Mercenary Terror's request. So I got a Guy Hawk in here, right? Yeah, I got a Guy Hawk in here, no problem. So let me ask you this, and I always ask you this whenever you make a request. What is it that you were looking to try to accomplish? So Terra, if you're still in there, let me know in the chat. What is it that you're trying to accomplish by using that particular setup? And I'll start getting it set up for you right here. I'll take Acid Storm out for a second. Go get the pink dude. So, alright, I got a 5-star Crater Maker right there. Alright, so let's see. And then he said the Micronus core. So I pulled that off of Nemesis Prime real quick. Uh, Robert C4 said when Alliance base is projected to launch. So the last I heard about it, it's supposed to be really soon. Like the last they talked about it, I think on the stream they were saying in the next few weeks. So we'll see what that is. I hadn't even seen anything. Usually when I start telling people, hey, it's coming, is when we start to get it in test. And I will say we ain't got it in test yet. That's for sure. So kind of hard to gauge. Usually when we start getting stuff in testing, depending on what it is, so some stuff we'll get as early as a month early, and then a lot of times we'll get stuff in about 2 or 3 weeks out. But we ain't got anything for that yet, unfortunately. I'm looking forward to it. We're getting excited about it. We're starting to plan for it a little bit, and my Alliance family. And so yeah. All right, Chris Harmon says he wants me to try Guy-Hawk, Quintus, and Singe. Yeah, I can try that out. I already got Guy-Hawk out, so you know what? We can work with it. All right, let's see. And so Tex has his base. Seemed like he was doing some internal testing. Man, I ain't leave myself like any ranged options when I did that. But yeah, the question I was asking you, Tara, was with this particular combination, what were you trying to accomplish? Damn, that's a nice explosion. And I'm just kind of playing around at this point. But yeah, so man, it's honestly not bad, man. See, man, that's why I like and Tara always get on me for not doing his combinations right away. But Tara be coming up with some stuff that is like it'll be unconventional, but it'll actually wind up being really, really good. But that's especially when one thing I always like to consider too is I like to consider like how often I use the ability, because the ability use when I'm using a core like Micronus, it actually does help quite a bit because he'll fall back into the pack at times. So Big Blade says health boost wouldn't make a difference to a bot like Deathsaurus. Want to know what would make a difference? Invincibility. So that did come up, or given not necessarily invincibility, but some type of shield. That did come up, and I don't think we're getting anywhere with that. I think we're gonna get Deathsaurus exactly like he is right now, unfortunately. And Big Blade also says that there's a bug with Scylla if you on defense, uh, and she does nothing on defense. I think the apes are aware of that one, honestly. All right, so Terra says he thought that Guy has the ice bomb. If he could create a make it would do good damage, so the ice would explode and some extra healing since his health isn't good. So yeah, now I definitely got where you were going with the Mike Ronan score, trying to keep some health on him. But I think Chris Harmon might be on to something here because he said he wanted me to see the Singe Quintus combo on him. Now, I get it. That's probably the most unpopular thing that I talk about on my stream is that Quintus, that Singe and Quintus combo. So when you're talking about let's see. So I need to go. Let me go run Quintus there, and I know I got all of my power cores out of whack because I was doing some testing earlier for some stuff I wanted to work on. But that's like it does work. Now I get it. A lot of people want to make the sharks. A lot of people want to make the sharks stronger, but they die in 7 seconds for me anyway. So I was just kind of like, whatever. And I need a way to make that healing from Singe useful. The wall busting, I've accepted, is not always going to work in most conventional cases. But I'd say I like to get as much healing on my teams as possible without having to run double healers. So that's kind of how I came up with that concept. I say I got my good friend Cheeto up there on this one. Alright, so we just taking a look at Guy Hawk with, and just to kind of see how it does. I say I still got old Deathsaurus up there about to die. And I'm just kind of curious to see, because I think if you use it at a shorter range, I think you get a good chance at it. A good chance of just destroying its own ice beam. But I love those ice explosions, though. I mean, and it's keeping them pretty healthy. It's keeping them pretty healthy. I mean, he's the only bot. I pretty much let all the other bots I got on the squad just get killed, and he's just sitting there going strong. So, nah, it ain't bad. Yeah, and Chris Harmon says use trigger happy or knockout to use with him. So normally, if I had these spots in game, I would probably use trigger happy. It's gonna be expensive as hell, but yeah, no, it's a good way to go about it. Uh, Another good one to use, um, SG Thundercracker. So a lot of you guys are Guy Hawk and Brainstorm fans. Um, that one works out too. SG Thundercracker, SG Jetfire works really well too. I think I showed that a couple of streams ago, but you know, like I said, we can throw. Honestly, man, for me, like I was actually working on earlier today, possibly benching knockout. It's just too slow for me now. I mean, he still does a good job with the anti heal, but I'm just not feeling it, man. It's just so slow. But actually, I can throw trigger happy in here with the Guy Hawk. All right, so and the thing is for me is that trigger happy just got that really good damage, and so with the ice, you're getting that good ice explosion there. And I think that like bots like Trigger Happy, SGTC will really make that thing do some damage. As you can see right there, it cleared out most of that section over there on the right hand side. So when you start looking at possible combinations, that's a good one. Yeah, you can get a little costly, but you're getting some of your points back. All right, so let's talk about, while I'm up here on the battlefield, excuse me, I want to talk about some of the things that we talked about in testing this week in regards to war. So I'll tell you this, I can't tell you everything because none of this stuff is going to be ready anytime soon. But as many of you guys know, Dale's been getting into some coding, and he's been working a lot with just different stuff. Though, he was working on the Acid Crimzik, which I'm not sure when that's going to come out yet. But he's working on the Acid Crimzik. He's working on war effects in the background, and I think it was Chris Harmon I was talking to the other day when we were talking about the conversation we were having. It's like, if you had a whole team of developers and each one of them had a specialized thing that they were doing, how much better the game would be. And so what I could kind of see happening is if Dale is going to be working on war effects, I think that will be like his focal point. Maybe that and a couple other things, like a couple of battle boosts and stuff like that. And you can kind of see that when in the survey we took last week, like Dale made the survey and he started asking questions about some of those things, because I think that he's going to wind up doing some more work on that. And I think that's going to be good for the game, to be honest, because what it does is it's a focal point, and then the rest of the developers can work on other things. The rest of these guys can work on not giving Death Saurus and Star Saber crappy combat bot, or they can work on the new Alliance wars. You know what I mean? If you got somebody in the background that's gonna deal with effects, that's gonna deal with battle boosts and stuff like that. So I think that'll be really good for the game. I just think we might have to wait around to reap the benefits of it a little bit. But what Dale has been talking about is he want to put more offensive boost on there as well as defensive boost, doing some of our war effects. And so a lot of that stuff, and that's the conversation we were actually having when I was saying that I wanted to have ice and electric merge. We were talking about, it's like, well, this will be a good place to use as a test ground for something like that, and then you can see if you want to use it permanently in the meta. But when you look at extra battle effects, this is what we've been stuck with for a while now, ever since like we started doing like HQ18. Because let's be honest, HQ18, one of the conversations we were having about in playtest, was that HQ18 made everything more difficult, and rightfully so. Like most of us players that play in Prime League, that's what we wanted. And personally, I think the difficulty right now, I think it's perfect. The problem is you got stuff like this, man. Like you got, well, not that, and that is zoomed in way too hard. But you got stuff like this Micronus cool, 15% every 5 seconds, and then you got it stacking with other sources of healing. You got it stacking with this alchemist core right there, and you start putting on an MDS or something like that, where it's doing like boatloads of damage, and then it's healing nearby, nearby defenses. And I'm just like, dog. Then I saw some people that are using, build bot cores and everything else. So you got to destroy all this stuff in this cluster. So the apes are saying they're trying to work on a way to get that cluster to, without making the game too easy, making that cluster not quite heal as much, but still leave it kind of strong. So that's kind of what we're looking at this point. And honestly, we just got to find a good balancing point for it. I think it'll be, I think whatever change we come up with, it'll be good, because, it's been times I'm sitting there fighting the battle, and I'm just pounding and pounding and pounding up there, the HQ or the MDS area, the heal cluster area. like the entire time that I'm sitting there fighting, and that's frustrating. So, but we're always looking for more ideas for some Prime League war effects. So if you got one, um, you know, I'll listen to it. Send it to my Discord, or for you guys that got me on the line app, send it to my line app. And what you know, you guys know how I do. We're always gonna talk our way through it. I might ask you some questions, but it's just so I can understand better. So yeah, if you got any ideas, hit me up on my Discord. My Discord is you can actually find it on all of my videos and in the about section of my YouTube. Speaking of which, I think I'm gonna start doing more giveaways, but I'm gonna start doing them on Discord. So you guys might want to join my Discord server. That's also in the about section of my channel, and it's called I leave the links for those in like every video also. And if not, you can always just reach out to me and just I'll shoot you the link for it. That's not a problem. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing giveaways up there. I seen like one of the guys that helped mentor me when I first started YouTubing was Soldier, and I see he does that a lot. I said, you know what, I should do that. Plus, it'll encourage all of us to sit around and talk to each other anyway. So that's always good. I don't even know why I'm fighting this battle. I'm just sitting here battling for no reason, just talking to you guys. Let's see. So got a Spencer 394 in here. So first off, thanks for joining. He says, I think maybe they could have some kind of anti-healing for attacking similar to the bots for your base. That did come up. I'm not sure if that's going to get any traction, but that did come up for sure. But yeah, it's always going to be some. And so I think if we decrease the healing a little bit, that'll allow us to uh, buff some other things defensively. And I'm not gonna say what because I know what we're planning on doing so far, but this is way off later on, late summer. They're talking about doing some more buffs. Chris Harmon asked a good question. Did I give all 20 spots away? Nah, I didn't. So I am. So I'm gonna go down my list today of everyone that I already gave a spot to, and I'm gonna do a couple of giveaways. I'm gonna do a giveaway on Discord, and I'm gonna do. I was just thinking about it today. I actually wrote it down. I'm gonna do a couple more giveaways. You guys are gonna have to check my community tab in my Discord because I'm gonna tell you where the giveaways are gonna be. But I plan on doing them this week. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. If you're not on my Discord, like I said, you just shoot me a DM on Discord if you're not on my Discord server, so that you can make sure you're catching all this stuff. And I'll post it in my community tab too on YouTube, just so you guys are able to come in there. Cause I gotta give some more of these spots away, and right now I've only given away about 6 or 7. So Master Ninja is joined the chat. Thanks for joining. Let's see, Big Blade. You know what? Big Blade, you got Discord. Uh, I'm pretty sure I seen you on Discord before. Big Blade been talking a lot in here and coming up with a lot of good ideas. Big Blade, I'm gonna give you a Freezy chest, and I'm gonna enter you into Space Apes giveaway. So hit me up on Discord after the stream, and I'm gonna give you a Freezy chest. Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. You asked me what's in it. I don't know. Like a lot of the other guys up there, I want to say it's about the same as like one of the chests that you get from like what's the thing called? Dispatch missions. I want to say it's like the same contents as that, honestly. Mercenary Terror said he don't have Discord or anything. Hey, Mercenary Terror, one of my moderators and like one of my most loyal followers. Bro, I'm gonna put you in the space ape drawing. Like I'm gonna put your name in there for the space ape drawing. So do me a favor, post your in-game name, your HQ level, and your alliance, so that I can go give that to Space Ape. So that'll be a real easy way to make sure that you actually get a prize, because Space Ape will be giving it to you directly if you win. So, and I can also tell them, when I tell them that, I can tell them that I owe you another Freezy chest. Esclawasi joined the chat. Yeah, thanks for joining, buddy. I was just getting ready to wrap up, but I said I was in there giving some stuff away. But yeah, so yeah, Terror. Go ahead. Yeah, Fox the Bomb said he got like 1,000 premium shards from his Freezy chest. So it's pretty much the same thing as this. It's about the same as when you go and get a what is that? That's medium dispatch mission territory, I think. So yeah. But I'm about to head out. Like I said, Terror, if you don't post in the chat, just come back to my video and give me that information. It'll be your in-game name, your alliance and HQ level, and I'll make sure you get entered into the Space Ape drawing. But cool, man. Hey, thanks everyone for joining. Really, really good chat. So glad you guys can make it. I'll be on next week again. Actually, I'll let you know what I'm gonna do next week, because I got a training class, and the training class ends at like 5. I might still go on, but I might go on later next week. And if that's the case, I'll let you guys know on my community tab in my Discord. All right, and Tara, I see your information down there, so I got it, and I'll put you in there for that drawing. The Nally Kid 93 joined up there. He says, "Don't forget me, Freeze." You know what? You're pretty consistent up here too. So Denali Kid, I'm gonna give you a Freezy chest too. Find me on Discord, and so that I can give you your chest. Spencer 394 said it's a small chest. Okay, so cool. That's a small chest then. I said, I never even look. I just collect all my my dispatch mission stuff, and I just open it one day, like 10 months from now. Not just not literally, but you guys know what I'm saying. But all right, yeah, great stream today. Thank you guys for all the love and support, and I will see you guys next week, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Freezy us out.